All right, let's get started. As you all know, Liberty Mutual is one of the leading insurance providers in the world. We have a strong track record, but complacency is the enemy. We need to examine the challenges we face to continue our success.
Speaking of challenges, the market's getting tighter. More players, more competition.
And the technology is changing so fast. AI, blockchain, it's hard to keep up.
Exactly. That's challenge number one. Embrace change. We can't be afraid to adapt.
Easier said than done, Jane. Some of our people are resistant to new technologies.
Then it's our job to lead them, to show them the benefits, to make them understand that change is not a threat, but an opportunity. Any thoughts on how we can better foster this? Maybe more training? Workshops? Good. Write that down, please, Emily. What else? What other challenges are we facing?
Well, there's the perception
Perception? Elaborate, Robert.
that we're slow, bureaucratic. Not exactly the image we want to project in this fast-paced world.
So, we need to be faster, more nimble. How do we achieve that?
We could streamline some processes, cut through the red tape.
Yeah, but a lot of that red tape is there for a reason. Compliance, regulation, we can't just throw that out the window.
Maybe we can automate some of the more tedious tasks, free up our people to focus on more strategic initiatives.
AI could definitely help with that. Claims processing, customer service.
But what about the human element? People trust us because they know we're there for them, not just some algorithm.
That's a valid point, Robert. We need to find a balance. Technology can augment our human capabilities, not replace them. So, how do we ensure our leaders are equipped to navigate these changes, to guide their teams through this transformation?
Leadership training? Focus on change management?
Mentorship programs. Pair up the old guard with the new blood.
Incentivize innovation. Reward those who embrace change and find new ways of doing things.
Excellent. Emily, please add those to the list. Any other thoughts on embracing change? No? Okay, let's move on to the next challenge. All right, let's talk about fostering innovation. In a competitive industry, we can't afford to stand still. We need to be pushing boundaries, finding new solutions.
Easier said than done, Jane. People are resistant to change. They like the way things are.
Maybe we need to create a culture where it's okay to fail, where people aren't afraid to take risks and try new things.
A failure-positive environment? I like it. We could even have awards for the biggest learning opportunity. Awards for failing? I don't know about that. Sends the wrong message, doesn't it?
Not if it's framed correctly. It's not about celebrating failure. It's about celebrating the courage to try something new, even if it doesn't work out. Exactly, Maria. It's about learning and growing. Emily, note that. Foster a failure-positive environment. Okay, next. Managing uncertainty. The economy is a roller coaster, market fluctuations, unexpected events. How do we prepare our leaders to navigate those storms?
Scenario planning. We need to wargame different possibilities, so we're not caught off guard.
Communication is key. Keep everyone informed, even when the news isn't good. Transparency builds trust.
All right, let's move on. How do we emphasize diversity and inclusion? It's not just about ticking boxes. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued and respected.
We have diversity training, don't we?
The training is fine, but it's a one-off. Doesn't really change the day-to-day.
It's performative. We need to go beyond and foster true inclusivity.
Like what? Quotas? I'm not sure about that.
Quotas aren't the only answer, David. We need to look at our hiring practices, our promotion policies. Are we unconsciously favoring certain groups?
It's a slippery slope. You start trying to engineer everything, you end up with resentment.
Or we could mentor rising stars from underrepresented backgrounds, give them the support they need to climb the ladder.
And make sure everyone has a seat at the table. I've been in meetings where I'm the only woman, and it's hard to be heard.
Exactly. We need to create a space where everyone feels comfortable speaking up, sharing their ideas. Emily, make a note. Review hiring and promotion policies for unconscious bias. Implement mentorship programs. Foster inclusive meeting environments. Okay, next. Building strong relationships. Customers, employees, stakeholders. These relationships are the bedrock of our success. How do we prioritize them? All right, let's talk about customer satisfaction. It's not just about processing claims quickly, it's about building loyalty. How do we ensure every interaction leaves a positive impression?
We already send out satisfaction surveys.
And then what? Do we actually use the feedback? I've filled those out myself and never seen any changes as a result.
We could offer personalized service. Dedicated account managers, maybe?
That's expensive. What about empowering our frontline employees to resolve issues on the spot? Give them the authority to make things right.
That could backfire. What if they start giving away the store?
We train them properly. Define clear parameters. Trust them to use their judgment. Emily, note. Empower frontline employees with decision-making authority. Next, investing in talent development. We need to equip our people with the skills they need to excel, not just today, but tomorrow.
More training seminars?
Maybe less seminars, more on-the-job coaching, mentorship programs, real-world application.
And let's not forget about leadership development. Identifying high-potential employees and grooming them for management roles.
We need to make sure these programs are accessible to everyone, not just the favorites. Agreed. A level playing field. Emily, note. Expand mentorship programs and leadership development opportunities. Ensure equitable access. Finally, operational excellence. Streamlining processes, improving efficiency. How do we become a well-oiled machine?
Automation. We need to automate the mundane tasks, free up our people to focus on higher-value work.
But not at the expense of human connection. We can't become robots.
Continuous improvement, regularly reviewing our processes, identifying bottlenecks, and implementing solutions.
And soliciting feedback from employees on the ground. They're the ones who know where the pain points are. Exactly. They're our eyes and ears. Emily, note. Prioritize automation of mundane tasks while maintaining human connection. Implement system for soliciting and acting on employee feedback, process improvements. All right, let's move on to fostering a culture of accountability. This isn't about blame, it's about ownership, holding ourselves and each other to high standards.
So, more performance reviews? Because those are thrilling.
Maybe we need clearer expectations from the start, defined metrics, measurable goals, so everyone knows what they're working towards.
And consequences for not meeting those goals. Positive and negative. Rewards for exceeding expectations. Corrective action for falling short.
But how do we make sure those expectations are fair? That everyone is being judged by the same yardstick?
Transparency. Open communication about performance, about how decisions are made. No hidden agendas.
Exactly. Clear expectations, fair metrics, and open communication. And follow through. If we say we're going to do something, we do it. Emily, please note. Foster culture of accountability through clear expectations, fair metrics, transparent communication, and consistent follow-through. Now empowering employees. Trusting our people to take ownership and make decisions.
Easier said than done. What if they screw up?
That's part of learning. We create a safe space for them to experiment, to take risks, as long as it's not reckless, obviously.
Training is key here too. Giving them the tools and knowledge they need to make informed decisions.
And the authority. No point in empowering them if they still have to jump through 10 hoops to get anything done.
It's a balance, though. We can't just throw them in the deep end without a life preserver.
Agreed. Empowerment with support, training, resources, and a safety net. Emily, note. Empower employees through training, resources, and a supportive environment that encourages responsible decision-making. All right, team, let's talk about leading by example. It's not enough to say we value something. We have to show it.
So, less time in the corner office, more time in the trenches?
Smiles. Exactly. If we expect our team to put in the work, we need to be willing to do the same. And that includes demonstrating the values we preach. Integrity, honesty, hard work.
What about communication? That always seems to be a sticking point.
Transparency is key. No one likes feeling like they're in the dark.
Absolutely. Open and honest communication, even when it's difficult, and agility. We have to be willing to adapt, to change course when necessary.
Easier said than done when you've got 100 different initiatives going at once.
I know, but we can't get stuck in our ways. We need to be flexible, open to new ideas. And speaking of values, ethics and integrity have to be at the core of everything we do. What about celebrating the wins? Seems like we're always focused on what's not working. You're right. We need to acknowledge and appreciate the hard work of our teams. Celebrate successes, big and small. It's about recognizing effort and commitment.
So, more pizza parties?
Laughing. Pizza parties are a start. But it's also about genuine appreciation, about making people feel valued. And that brings me to leadership development.
Investing in our people.
Exactly. Providing opportunities for growth, for learning, for developing their skills, and fostering a culture of continuous learning. We should all be striving to improve, to learn new things.
What about collaboration? Seems like we're often working in silos.
We need to break down those walls, foster teamwork, encourage collaboration, and embrace diversity and inclusion. Create a workplace where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered.
Easier said than done.
I know, but we have to make it a priority. And finally, lead with empathy and compassion. Remember that we're all human. Treat each other with kindness, understanding, and respect. So, less yelling? Smiles. Definitely less yelling. It's about building strong relationships, about creating a positive and supportive work environment. Emily, please note, lead by example, communicate effectively, stay agile, prioritize ethics, celebrate success, invest in leadership development, foster continuous learning, foster collaboration, embrace diversity, and lead with empathy and compassion.